Greatest thing you've had to overcome in your whole career?
Oh, man. Greatest thing I've had to overcome.
Or life. It doesn't have to necessarily
yeah.
be your career.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Because there's so many different facets of it, you know? Like, I would say, like, maybe, like, confidence. You know, the confidence in knowing who you are. So our sport is called BMX Freestyle, which means that you can have it any style you want. Doesn't mean that people might like it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean, but, like, you're allowed to do whatever you want. Like, there's no rules to it. So even with that being said, like, early on, like, I got labeled, like, jumper, bar spin kid. I did, like, tons of bar spins. And people just, like, laid on me about that. But I loved them. I seriously loved doing them. You know, and so I got made fun of. I got scored down a bunch. It bummed me out to the point where a couple times I ended up in tears because I was like, I'm never going to get anywhere even though I'm doing what I love and I'm literally following.
So where were you seeing these comments or these messages?
Oh, I mean, magazines for, like, in the magazines for a while, they did like this, pros and cons. So they would list like a number of pros and they would give that list out to other pros. And they would say something nice, but obviously the trash talking side of it, they would just lay in. Right?
Print?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I feel like that's like worse than social media almost.
Yeah.
That shit's in there forever.
Yeah. But I mean, even social media too, like even this day, like, you know, you'll get comments that people would be like, you're trash, you're garbage, whatever. And I'm like, all right. So through that whole process of, like, you know, getting, like, hit with labels or, you know, like, ideas of who you are or whatever like that, like, you know, being able to be just really confident in who I am and what I'm doing out there has allowed me to just, like, really flourish. And, like, I mean that in the most positive way, but, like, you know, like social media comments, like,
yeah.
I've had people literally just be like say the worst stuff to me. And I've gone back, and this is, like, my favorite thing to do. You go back and you go, hey man, hope you're doing good. It seemed like you were kind of being, like, a little bit negative there. You know, I wish we could maybe ride and hang out one time, because I feel like you might get a better idea of who I am as a person. But, like, hey man, like, I hope you're doing good and just continue on and have a great day, man. You know, it sometimes even put a little heart by it, you know, but I'm like, this is what that person needs.
Yeah.
You know,
because you're a miserable person to
whatever
write.
It was.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, sometimes they're just drunk. Sometimes they're literally just like, oh, man, Nyquist, and I'm like, all right. And, dude, every single time I get a response back, it was like, dude, you're awesome. Dude, I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. And I'm like, dude, it just does a 180 like that.
Of course they're a fan because they're commenting on your stuff.
Well, but yeah. So, but I'm like, but it's just like, that's like my favorite thing to do.
What does Trent Shelton call them? They're
confused
supporter.
Yeah.
Confused supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, taking, like, and there's been other situations like where a guy was literally talking so much trash to so many other riders too. And I went out of my way, and he wasn't even going at me, but I was just like, went out of my way to basically tell him, like, I saw you comment on so-and-so's post. I saw you comment on this. I'm just letting you know, like, we read this stuff and you're not going about it the right way. Like, you seem like a great dude. I checked out your profile. You're a talented rider. Like, you know, but you need to kind of be a little bit more positive about this stuff. And we went back and forth, and he, like, you know, the kids nowadays, they don't know how hard it was, blah, blah, and they're all entitled. It's like, that's another assumption, you know, like, this rider is actually a really hard worker. I work with her on the daily. You know, it was just like stuff like that. And then, dude, eventually he went back and apologized to everybody.
There you go.
And he got unblocked. And now he's saying nothing but positive stuff on my stuff. And I'm just like, man, like, that is the kind of stuff. So anyways,
you gotta do one of these for that.
But like, it's just like that kind of being so sure in what I'm doing and being okay with reaching out and not taking it to the negative, you know, for me has been huge, because I can show up in any situation completely sure of what I've done in my career and who I am as a person and where I want to take my riding or career. And then I can show people that, and then in some ways help them if they're, like, lost or they think this is the right path to go down. Just be like, hey dude, like, what's up? Like, I have no problem, like, looking at someone like this, be like, what's up, dude? Like, tell me what's going on. And that's been the best thing ever, because that's, like, one of the greatest things I can do to help anybody is just be like, calm down, let's take a second.
Right.
What's going on?
Right. And you know what? And especially if you're going to put yourself out, if you're going to create, and she tells me this too, because I've gotten some hate over the years. Mm-hmm. She says, you know, basically, if you put yourself out there where you give people a platform to comment, or the fact that you're doing what you're doing has given them the ability to make
Yeah.
a comment.
Yeah.
Essentially, you have to get to where you don't care.
Yeah.
Like you don't care because, like, for
Right.
instance,
Do you think you're above it? Like
Right.
you think you're above somebody
And-
leaving you a negative
and-
comment?
So several years ago, my name got dragged through the mud, and it was whatever it is, you know. What gave me, and I was like, wow. And I was really just trying to take care of people and do good. And I'm like, wait a minute. So it doesn't really matter what I do. People are going to talk shit regardless.
Yeah.
Whether you do good, bad, or indifferent doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
matter. So why should I care? I'm just going to go do what I want to do and affect change and affect people and help people and go from there. Man, that was so liberating. The thought of just like moving forward and not caring. So I screenshot these like negative comments I get all the time.
All right.
Because it's crazy, man. They're always paired next to a comment that's a positive comment.
Yeah.
So today on today's video that we launched this morning, there was 2 comments. And if you look at the time, what does the time on both comments say?
At the same time.
Same exact time, right?
Yeah.
So one says, it's quotations, "I'm a pussy and I didn't answer the question because I want to keep my YouTube channel and that's what's wrong with the country today." Okay. So I got called a pussy today.
Because we said we didn't want to participate in
not-
overthrowing the government.
Yeah. But even that can be taken out of context because you don't have to listen to the whole video.
Right.
The second video is he goes, "This couldn't have been said any better."
Yeah.
Like complete stark contrast. And I love those things. And I like posting that because especially with young people coming up in it, I'm like, listen, you're always going to have the negative and you're always going to have the positive.
Yeah.
Just keep doing you.
Do me a favor one time when you feel up to it,
Yeah.
like reach out to that person individually and just kill them with kindness.
Oh, I do.
Kill them with rationale
I-
and just be like, I'm here to just chat with you, man.
Yeah.
Like,
So I've done this in the past and
I sent that one dude that I was talking about. I sent
Yeah.
him voice messages, literally like my voice, because I was like, this is gonna be so much more personal if you hear it from my voice too.
and
Like
your tone and everything.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is
Yeah.
my mission now. I'm gonna flip this dude, and he's gonna and it worked. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm like, hey man, like that's totally your opinion. I understand. Like listen, if you ever need anything, reach out and I'd be more than happy to help. You know what I mean? Good luck to you.
Appreciate you watching the video.
Yeah, appreciate you watching the video.
Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, thanks. And you know what? And people, I will notice them like, dude. And then if he comes back snarky, I've noticed other people are like, dude, he's being a nice guy. Like he's even,
Yeah.
like he even
People
said,
have your back. Like,
you know, it's
yeah.
like, why are you being an asshole?
Yeah.
You know, and then they
Well,
go,
and some people
and
like
then-
that rise. Like,
and then some people that, you know, I've seen comments like, you're right. I was, you know, I've actually had those people like, sorry, man, I was totally drunk last night.
yeah,
when I said that.
It happens,
You know what I
man.
mean?
It happens.
So my point being is why I like to share all that stuff. And it's awesome that you actually brought that up is because, you know, with younger people or even just people who's just now getting into saying being an entrepreneur or being on social media or starting a business and they're getting negative reviews or they get negative comments. That's a lot when you're first starting out.
Yeah. There's already a lot of doubt in your head.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, you're
right.
like, and then it gets reinforced by someone be like, product sucks.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's kind of heavy,
Yeah.
you know? But it's nice to when you get past that and you're able to like deal with that and it doesn't affect your identity or how you sleep
Yeah.
at night. And it's a superpower.
It kind of is, man.
Yeah.
It
Like
really
learning
is.
how to crash.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
how to crash.
Yeah. It's all good stuff.